I was watching House on Haunted Hill. Vincent Price.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was like you were thinking something new. I'm like, oh,
No.
know that.
Well, what I do is
Cold.
I watch. It's the same thing with music. I was the same way. If I was writing for a certain band, I would listen to what sounded like that. So I'm shooting roosters in black and white. So I watch, Night of the Hunter, Carnival of Souls.
Oh, it's so good.
All right.
I mean, is there anyone better than Vincent Price? I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Yeah. Is there anyone better than Vincent Price?
We're back.
Hi.
Episode
6.
6.
6.
And it's warm in here.
It's actually getting warmer. Feeling a little bit spring-like out there.
Yeah, it's getting close.
Yeah, getting there. Before you know it, we're going to be here in our shorts and...
Yeah.
Go from our blankets to our
air
shorts.
Conditioning will be on.
Yeah.
We do have air conditioning. We don't have heat. Well, we have little electric heaters that don't work, but... All right, so what are we talking about?
So, how are you, first of all?
I'm doing great. I'm very
How's
excited.
basketball?
Oh, well, we're in the playoffs.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, we've never even dreamed of that, so that starts this Saturday.
That's huge.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. Still waiting to find out any second who we're playing.
Ooh.
I'm waiting to get
Do you have
that.
a guess?
I don't know.
Who do you want to play? Or you want to say?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Nope, that's good. That's good attitude.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
But you're more excited about?
I'm casting roosters, and we're getting really close. I believe I have Travis cast, but he does not know it yet, the actor.
You're going to let him know?
Thursday.
Does he get the call?
Thursday.
Okay, so we won't mention any names.
No.
Okay.
Well, he won't be
under
watching
wraps.
this, so I'm not worried.
Only the cool kids are watching this.
Yeah, no, I'm really close. Everyone's going to know about it. That's what we're going to do. As we cast the actors, we're going to plaster them all over the place.
I love it.
And we're going to start shooting.
But what a relief. That's a big one.
Huge.
That's a big one when you cast that role.
Huge.
Do you find everything falls into place after that?
You know when it falls into place? When you start.
Okay.
It's like it's easy to talk about. It's easy to plan. It's easy to say.
Sure.
But it's like anything in life.
Yeah.
Once you start something, you have a better chance of finishing it.
Absolutely. It's like that term paper in high school.
Yeah.
That you're like, I got to do it. And then as soon as
it.
you start it, you're like, why didn't I just start it?
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, even with the kids, my we're doing another book report.
The book report.
But it's always
grade.
and I'm like, well, I'll tell you what. Let's read a page.
Yeah.
Let's read a page.
No.
Don't wait until we have to read the book.
No one does that.
Yeah. So.
No one does that. They all wait till the last minute. But you might guess that I was the one who did it that night.
Oh, I
did it
I
immediately.
never did it at all.
Oh, okay. All right. I think that's the first thing we found that we weren't alike about.
No, I only read one book my whole life, Stuart Little. I have a very difficult time reading.
Oh, okay. That's different.
But what I did is in class I always would pay attention, so I had high honors all the school of English, but didn't read any of the books. I would just listen to everybody else talk about the books.
I really like that.
And then when the test would come,
that's intelligence.
I would creatively write what they all said, and I was able to be in the highest English classes and never read a book
without reading it.
Yeah,
that's intelligence. You work around it.
Like my scripts, I can't read. I can type. So I type because I took that in high school.
But do you hear it
when
you're typing?
Do they still teach typing anymore?
No, I don't think so.
No. Well,
I think when you're 3 years old and you get your first cell phone,
yeah, maybe
you learn to
type with the one finger.
Yeah.
But no, I can type, so I can write the scripts, and I kind of look at it, but not really, and I don't really read them.
Do you hear it in your head when you're reading it?
Well, that's why I do things a lot differently with actors. I like to do Zoom calls. I like to see them speak.
Oh yeah.
I do things backwards. Let's put it that way. Because the industry does not do that. The industry sends out auditions. They look at them, but I'd rather just look at them talk as they are.
Just naturally.
Yeah, because then they don't have to step too far out of character.
Right.
Of themselves.
Yeah.
And
I mean, unless you are, you know, an Oscar-winning actor.
Yeah. And
you're asking a lot of somebody to become
and time.
Somebody
We're not rehearsing,
right, exactly.
So it's like they have to be able to just flow.
Yep, exactly.
So that's all.
So I wanted to talk about like the elephant in the room today. Like I figured I'm wearing this shirt called the GOS of Somerville.
Oh, and I'm wearing a GOS
exactly shirt. A GOS shirt. And what have we not talked about? I mean, if you asked, I think I would love to do a little poll on the street in Somerville. What do you think is the most haunted building in Somerville? And what would everyone say?
The hotel.
Of course, hands down.
Yeah.
It would be the Hotel Somerset. So I thought maybe we'd talk about that a little bit.
And why wouldn't it be? It's the oldest working tavern in the country.
Right. 1748.
Yeah. George Washington's soldiers stayed there.
They did. He was at the
Wallace House. Yes.
I'm like, the Wallace House. He was at the Wallace House staying in style. I saw his bedroom up there.
Yeah.
He was
you went upstairs.
It's nicer than my bedroom right now. Yeah.
They didn't let us upstairs when we were there.
At the Wallace House?
Yeah. Well, you know why? It was a big group. Maybe
no, I took a tour, a private tour
okay.
with Paul. Do it. Yeah, he'll give you a private tour of the whole thing. So I was up in his bedroom where he and Mrs. Washington, Martha, slept. I call her Martha.
Yeah.
They slept there, and George Washington stayed there, but there was a lot of people, so they stayed at the hotel. Yeah, that's right. My gosh, I forgot about that.
They marched down that street. They have the rock there that shows that's the path he took.
Yeah, it's not far.
No,
it's not far at all. No. I mean, not at all. That's another fun fact about it, and my favorite fun fact about it is the relation to the Halls Mills trial. That's where the jury was sequestered.
Oh, there you go.
In that hotel.
In that hotel.
Fun fact. You know I'm big on my fun facts.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
And who else is residing there? We don't know.
We don't know.
The Tickle Ghost, we know about that.
We don't know. Yeah, so that's what really fascinated me as a paranormal investigator, because a lot of places have us come in and say, who's here? We want to know who's here and find out, and how interesting, and I hear things moving, but who's doing it? And nobody calls us and says, well, some private people call us and say get rid of it, but usually historical places don't call us and say, this is a problem. And that's what happened to them. They had people living there, and unfortunately they had veterans living there. One of them had severe PTSD, so the last thing he needed was a haunting in his life. So they actually called for help. This was 2014, so not long ago.
No.
Not long ago. Do the math. Yeah. 9 years. I'm like 4 years of college math, and there we go. 2014. So that's not really long ago. No. They called in a group from East Brunswick, and they asked them to investigate because people were being tickled, not just on the feet. A couple of people were being tickled on the feet, but they were also being tickled on the neck. And most amazingly is they were having their stuff rearranged. Now, you would think that's like incredible, but I hear it a lot.
Yeah.
In my day job.
And what do they come up with? Do they know anything about it, or?
Well, they were having people say, "Oh, my shoes are being rearranged," and it sounds like okay, no big deal.
Yeah.
But how would you feel if you woke up in the morning and your stuff was rearranged? It's a little unsettling, especially if you're already trying to dealing with the Vietnam War, and you need some peace in your life. You don't need an unseen force, affecting you, right?
Yeah.
So that made me a little upset. I was like, I'm glad that they called for some help. The owner, Tom McCormick, I believe is his name, at the time, he actually had experiences too. He, his wife had a girl say, "Help me." Well, she was in the laundry room, I believe. I think I have it in my notes. Yeah, she was in the basement, and she heard a girl say, "Help me," a girl or a woman.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, that's upsetting. That's never a fun thing to hear as an investigator.
No.
And we do hear it, and it always just gets us right there, like, oh, we want to, but how, right?
Yeah.
The son saw the girl in the basement, and evidently she took his hand and was like, "We're out of here." kind of thing. And of course you call somebody at that point. I mean, you have to work there, you have to live there.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Well, I'd probably sit down and have a chat.
Like, don't do that. You know what? That is the best answer in the world. At Somerset, I mean, we have footage of it here, we can show, and
Yeah.
it's just it's a beautiful place. I mean, it really is.
It's not like a hotel. If people who don't know, it's not like a hotel you're going to call up and book a room. That's not happening. Unfortunately.
No, it is unfortunate, and I would like to spend the night there, but at the same time, I respect that they don't want to. They don't want me in there trying to talk to the little girl who they don't want there anymore.
I hope someday it gets restored.
Oh, wow.
You know, that would be something.
Yeah, but I wanted to talk about it because it is, like I said, the elephant in the room. Here we are, the ghosts of Somerville, and we've never talked about the most haunted place
Hotel
in
Somerset.
Our town. Anyway, if you have any experiences, let us know. In fact, very happily, I did ask if anyone had any experiences at the Hotel Somerset, and I'm thrilled to share one from one of our viewers and subscribers. His name is Mike, and his friend's brother lived there and had experiences. So rather than me paraphrase it, I'm actually going to tell you what he said. How's that?
Let's do it.
So that's pretty interesting. We actually got a response from Mike, who let us know what happened. So it's his friend's brother, but he was like a brother to him, evidently. They grew up together. He said, after he found out that the hotel was haunted, he asked him if he ever experienced anything. And he told me things in his room would be rearranged on their own. And one night he woke up to a voice, someone speaking to him. So he sat up, I guess, woke up, and someone was talking to him that whom he couldn't see. And he saw a shadow figure in his room. So this is before, me talking to Mike about what we knew happened.
Yeah.
I just said, does anyone have any experiences? And he exactly described what was in that article that he hadn't seen, so I sent it to him.
Yeah.
And he was like, wow, that's exactly what everyone was experiencing. So imagine this, you're in your bed, you sit up, you hear someone talking, and you see a shadow. I don't know. I mean, for me, I'm excited, but in my house, I don't know if I'm so excited.
No. I had something similar. I had a recurring dream. That I would hear somebody come up the stairs down the hall when I was I guess maybe in my 20s.
Do you think it really happened?
Well, it kept happening, and then one night the door opens and it comes in the room, and I remember sitting up, and I like I can't move when you're sleeping.
I hear that a lot.
What I saw was myself.
You were coming in the room.
In a suit.
So, do you have any dream interpreters out there?
Yeah, that was pretty creepy. I decided to turn it into a story.
Your stories come from your dreams.
Yes.
And it's going to shock you, but I remember all my dreams too, and I dream a lot of things like that. I used to dream that I was being chased through a house with no furniture, and I couldn't hide. So I finally made like a hole in the ceiling to hide, and it was somebody with a weapon chasing me, and I was running for my life, and I thought, oh, there's no furniture, there's nowhere to hide, so I made like a little attic kind of thing that I would hide in.
And you remember that dream?
Remember it? I remember it. I've had it 60 times. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a recurring dream.
Yeah. I've had it in my childhood and my adulthood.
Recurring dreams. Tell us if you ever had one.
Yeah, and if you interpret dreams, let us know. A lot of people know about these things. We need some comments. We need some questions. Let us know if you have one.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of you have some recurring dreams that are really interesting. And what do you think they mean? I mean, you don't care. You just turn them into stories.
Well, it was rough because that was frightening. That was the one that was frightening.
Right. Anytime you have those stories where it ends up being you under the mask.
Yeah.
Is terrifying.
Yeah. What the heck does that mean?
I don't know. That sounds familiar though. That story. Anyway. I told you I rewatched one of your films.
Oh
recently.
yeah, that's right. Sustainable Life, yes.
Yes, I did. I watched Sustainable Life with Unlimited Transformations. I
It's-
watched it on Tubi.
Oh yeah,
And-
it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere, but I watched it on Tubi. I encourage you to watch it too. It's so good. It's so
It's-
good. I enjoyed it so much the first time, but it's one of those that the second time.
Yes, and it's so true to it's every time I watch that, people who watch it, they say that's going on right now.
It is going on right now.
Yeah, so that's interesting that it you know, when it hits the news, everybody always contacts me and they go, "Hey, look, it's true."
It is true.
Hello, Father. You have the whole world in your hands.
I found a world that has gone mad, full of ignorance and hate. And you know how I hate it.
I wish to feel the sun upon my face.
So that's it. I just wanted to talk about that fabulous Somerset Hotel. That's like that iconic picture when you think of Somerville, New Jersey.
Yes.
So, and thank you, Mike. Thank you for sharing that. And actually, Mike has shown some interest in coming out on an investigation with us sometime as well. So
Okay, great.
he's an amateur investigator, and come join us.
Okay, so what are we doing next?
So next, I am going to visit, actually today, the Van Vechten House. It's in Findern, which is a small part of
Yes.
Bridgewater, which is right next to Somerville. So we're getting a little bit closer to Somerville,
Yes.
which is good. This is an amazing structure because it was built in 1725, which by standards around here even, that's pretty old.
Yeah.
That's pretty old. And it was built by Derek Van Vechten. And as a Dutch person, I really want to say Van Vechten, but I'm going to call him Van Vechten. It's hard for me when it's a Dutch name. I just want to say it in Dutch, right?
Say it.
No. Anyway, so he was really a patriotic guy, and he had a house that was right on the Raritan River, really, and on Old York Road, which was really an amazing route between New York and Philadelphia. So all that. But the most interesting thing, because everybody likes the sexy stuff, right? And the
Yep.
George Washington stuff, because is George Washington in every story we tell?
Just about.
I feel like he's like ubiquitous in Somerville.
He's kind of been around,
It's like-
it seems like.
He gets around in Somerville, right? And this whole area. He was here for a long time. Well, he was a real patriot. So in 1778, he offered his home to George Washington, and his Continental Army,
Yes.
I should say. And interestingly, this is really cool. He wrote a letter. General Greene was a quartermaster general, Nathaniel Greene. While George Washington was there, he wrote a letter to a friend, Jeremiah Wadsworth, describing what he called a pretty little frisk that they held at the house, in which General Washington danced with Mrs. Greene. Scandal.
All night.
Scandal. Yeah,
Scandal.
no, all for hours, exactly. Upwards of 3 hours without sitting down.
Uh-oh.
So George Washington could boogie.
So we're going to tell you all about that.
Yeah,
And,
definitely. I'm going to ask all about that.
and there's a couple more interesting stories.
Yeah, that are a little bit darker, but let's end on a happy note. Echoes of Somerville today.
Yes.
We'll end on that happy note.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back soon. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and hit that little notification bell.
There you go.
So
We're
you can-
climbing the ladder.
We're climbing the ladder. We thank you for watching.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you again.
See you soon.